shirt untucked. Because I tend to be a little heavy. But that's for practical reasons. Because if I'm ever stuck away from food, I can last a long time. Also, if I walk up to you on the street, you know, do you think I'm a cop right now? Usually you don't. I'm going to move around a little bit. You guys might have to turn around. So this is how I dress for work. Most days, khakis, sometimes jeans, boat shoes. You wear boat shoes out here? Why would you? They're comfortable. And sometimes running shoes. And in my arm. Well, now that I told you, maybe you can tell I am. And how do you? The first way you would know is that I would pull a Glock 40 caliber out of my specially made holster, which I didn't ship out here because I actually use it at work. And it would be out in your face before you knew I was armed. Oh. And the other thing is, anytime I pull my gun, I say one thing and one thing only. I am not, you know, a smart aleck and say something that I heard on Miami Vice 15 years ago. I say only one thing, to get your attention, to throw you off so you don't do anything to me, and I don't have to shoot you. Because the last thing I want to do is shoot you. One of the last things. Maybe not you, I don't know why. So if I pull my gun, I don't want to scare anyone, startle anyone unnecessarily, but I would say, police, don't move! And I would say it like that. I don't care if it's just two of us. Police, don't move! And I wouldn't get this close. I don't care who it is. I would stand back, probably have something between us. Why? Because I don't want them coming towards me. And I have the gun. They may or may not. And if she moves, I will do what? Shoot. I'm not going to say don't move or I'll shoot you. Police, don't move. And the reason for that is it conveys who I am, the police, what I want you to do. Don't move. And you know, you see in the movie, oh, you put your hands up. Well, you told me not to move. At that point, you're actually by law allowed to shoot a smart ass like that. So, police don't move. It's not just for her. It's for anyone who's around here. Anyone for blocks around in 8 months or 3 years when there's she goes to trial and she says, and he shot me. I called up 27 witnesses who said, well, I heard the fat guy over there say, police, don't move. And I'm trained in the academy from the first day on the range. When I pull my gun, I always say, police, don't move. So that when I'm testifying, when I don't shoot someone, which happens 1 in 8 times, they'll say, what did you say? Did you identify yourself, the defense? And I'll say, yes. I said, police, don't move. Well, this happened 2 years ago, Agent Bourne. How do you know you said that? Because I say that every time I pull my gun. Every time? Every time. And that's the end of the subject. I've never been questioned on it. Just like when I give someone their rights, I don't recite it from what I remember from Adam 12. Which, by the way, I do remember it from Adam 12. I have a card I read it from. And then, usually I have a bunch of cards. I'll have them sign the card, but at least I read it from the card. So if there's any question, I'll say, well, I read it from the card. And usually that means this is a plastic gun. It's an official training gun. It's way overpriced. I had to buy it because when I was at training about 2 years ago and realized, hey, this would come in handy, I was looking over at the 4 that were on the table, and apparently one of our trainers is psychic because I hear him say behind me, I know how many of those we have. It's plastic.
Yeah, I know, but didn't show it. Plastic. Guys in the airport?
I shipped this to him. But
Oh, you shipped it.
I can bring it to him. It doesn't.
I know, but I just look at.
You have to explain. You do have to do a lot of explaining.
Yeah.
Don't let it get out of my control. So what else do I carry at work every day? Handcuffs, which I have. I am a senior guy. I am the most senior guy in our office. Most of my cases involve public corruption now, sometimes fraud. If I'm using a handcuff, I have made an error. I have not got one of the young guys doing the jobs that I need him to do. And I made a mistake today. I did not do the one thing you always do when you have handcuffs. You bring a key. works, even though there's usually only one key. Because
Yeah, that was that.
someone,
He's looking for it.
yeah, it's a standard key. I am looking around.
I know.
Can someone just volunteer?
I spotted you looking. I
So-
take credit for that.
I have my handcuffs. Ideally, I'm not going to walk right up. Now, the people that we deal with are generally very dangerous. We're not called into a case until it's gotten way out of control. So I would be standing back here. Someone would be over there, I'd be here. They have hopefully an automatic weapon on you. Doesn't matter if you're male or female. We are equal opportunity shooters. It does not matter. And he would be giving you commands. Or I would be
Oh,
giving.
the officer.
Only one person gives commands. And it would be, turn around. Turn around! No. Do not move. Right down to your side. All the way out. Out to your side.
Down at your side.
Place one arm behind your back. Do not move. Now someone just said which one. I'm trying to confuse her by saying put your left arm behind your back. We're in Arizona. I'm not sure if you can figure it out. That's a negative joke. So actually, ideally, I'd rather have her other hand, but that's fine. You come up. Now, do you feel like you can force on away
It
from
kind
me?
of hurts a little bit.
I don't want to hurt you. But that's not what I say on the street. No, I say don't move. I might whisper, if you move, this guy's going to shoot you. Actually, I don't want to comment exactly. I might make a smart comment then. So, does it feel like I have you securely? I didn't put it
It's
tight.
a little loose. No.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I don't think you understand. No.
That's what hurts you.
Then I grab this
This
wrist.
is very creepy.
I might take off her expensive gold bracelet. Right now. Here I have just one hand. Do I have control of you?
Do you have control of me? Well, I don't know. Okay.
There is no one. There is no one. Now, to teach her a lesson, I'm not going to take these off anytime soon.
There's a lesson in there.
Now, last night we were talking about flex cuffs, and these are flex cuffs. They're simple. They are one-time use items. They hold tight, and they hold tight. And I usually give one away during my talk. I will to someone who's a good sport. We'll see. You're a front runner. But I have to say this because I apparently didn't say it once. Do not use it unless you're prepared to cut it off with something heavy. You know, wire cutters, a knife, something like that. Because you or your significant other will be stuck to a bed and the fire. So, the other thing that I've been doing at night, I always have a flashlight. And again, if I'm working at night, I've made an error. If I'm working on a weekend, I have really screwed up. So, I have the light we usually need. Not much to, oh, don't blink your eyes like that. Hurts? That doesn't hurt. We're in Arizona. It's 130 degrees. So, what am I going to do? So there's a couple of theories about, you see the cops hold their guns like this. That is what I do. Some people say that's dangerous because it tells someone exactly where you're at. The other theory is you hold your gun like this and you can, I only ever had one person comment on it. When a U.S. Marshal, a guy named Peter Paul, excuse me, retired now, good guy. He was actually at an alley looking for someone, and they taught him like this, and he had his flashlight out, and someone shot at him and shot in the upper part of the alley. So he always does it that way, and I would too. Personally, though, I like being down low, close, moving very quickly, because I was trained differently than him. I spent 10 years, actually a little longer than that, on our SWAT team. It's different tactics. So we have I use a little flashlight. Personally, I use a little flashlight. But I have a big flashlight too, so that, but, if you don't want to, you don't have to. You seem a little nervous. Have you been hit with flashlights? Well, you're not a hemophiliac, right? So I don't have any batteries in this, but batteries in this is heavy. So when a cop pulls you over, and they will, I'm sure. Ronnie, listen, you need to listen to this. When a cop pulls you over, and he's resting the light on his shoulder, he looks very casual, or she looks very casual. They've assessed you. Now, Robin, you correct me on anything when I go wrong, if I go outside the California, code. But in Florida, this is not an issue. So I'm talking to you. Ideally, I've stopped someone 4 to 10 inches smaller than me, grabs 100 pounds less. With any luck, they're in a wheelchair. So I have light in there, and I'm asking questions, and if they do something stupid, if you make a quick move, go ahead, what do you want to do? I'm going to smack. They don't want us to smack them in the head, unless there is no other alternative. I don't want to smack someone in the head, unless there is no other alternative. If the alternative comes between me being punched and them having a skull fracture, I'm going to have a skull fracture. So that's the other thing. You have your heavy light, you're over here, we're talking to you. Leslie? I'll show you one more piece of equipment that you always carry with you. And this is the most vital thing, is your glasses. And I would say, it is Leslie. So Leslie and I are talking, and ideally I have a car. And we may be talking about something she thinks is relatively mundane, but I know, as a patrolman, that there's an issue in the area. There has been a shooting, and the suspect is a woman, brown hair, brown shirt, name tag that says Leslie. It's usually not that easy, but sometimes it is. And so I want to talk to her with something in between. I rest my hand on my gun. I'll carry my gun on my hip or here. Just as a habit, but just in case there's a problem, I can pull it out. And I have this is staying in my my left hand, my non-gun hand. Why? Because I want to be able to get my gun if I have to. A lot goes into a simple traffic stop. Say she's just speeding. I don't know if she's speeding away from a bank robbery. She looks like she probably was. So, talking to her, if you're nervous, all these things go into what you have to report later. Why did you talk to her further rather than just, well, she seemed extremely nervous. She kept looking around, she kept looking into her car. It didn't even have to be that obvious, but I noticed a bulge in her pants, in her blouse. I can step over and feel that. That is not an invasion. If I'm concerned for my safety, I have the right, anytime I'm interacting with someone and I have a concern for my safety, I can pat it. Now, I can't go into her pockets. I can't go into her pockets and feel if she has drugs or something like that. But for safety reasons, yeah, you can handcuff someone during a search warrant, even if you're not arresting them, because I can't have an unsecured person in a house while we're going down doing a search.